Hey, both of you have to wear the mask. Why? Because sit down, Daniel.
No, you did not just do that. Well, hey, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's Police and the Police. It's Friday night. And I really, really appreciate you. We got a fun show for you tonight. First, I want you to comment on this video. I want you to like this video. I want you to share this video. Here we go. Let's get into it. We have, we're going to start with the bully of the week. Usually that's a bully cam of the week, but we're not going to do bully cam tonight. We've got 3 videos for you. One is you saw a tease of it just now. This incredibly intelligent bus driver, just 10-year-old kid. Watch this video. Tell me what you think.
I don't care. Hey, both of you have to wear the mask. Why? Because sit down, Daniel.
Oh, no, you did not. Colorado bus driver who slaps this 10-year-old is fired. And lo and behold, he's arrested too. Big fat shocker. What a freaking idiot. If that was my child, oh my gosh. You'd still have his mugshot would have me in the background because my boot would be up his caboose. Not gonna lie. You do not slap my 10-year-old girl. I don't care if she's being a little brat. I don't think she's being a brat. She didn't want to wear the stupid mask, which she shouldn't have to do anyway. Don't get me started on the mask. Oh my gosh. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this country? It's this. Ain't nobody got Jesus anymore. What is going on? Well, listen. So I have played a portion of this video previously, and I have since gotten some more news about it. So I thought I would bring it back in and play it again and play a little bit more of it. The Louisiana State Police, let me see if I'm able to get it up here. Where is it? There it goes. So Louisiana State Police basically got into a car chase, which, by the way, at the end of this program, I'm going to show you a car chase you probably haven't seen out of Arkansas, except for the fact that somebody died. It's just the coolest. I'm going to get criticized for saying that. It was an incredibly epic wreck. I don't mean cool because somebody died, obviously. It was a fatal crash. And honestly, well, you know, I'm not scared of Monday morning quarterback on a Friday night. I do that anyway. This pit maneuver this cop uses, oh my God, shouldn't have used a pit maneuver at 109 miles an hour. For those of you that don't know what a pit maneuver is, basically you are chasing a car and you get behind the car and you you put your driver's side front corner to his passenger side rear corner and spin him out. You can do it on the other side too. You can pit somebody from either side, and basically you're just tapping. It doesn't take much tapping. You just tap the corner of the vehicle and it spins out, and then of course you spin out. You don't want to do that at high speeds. I don't know why this cop did what he did. It was an incredibly poor decision to have done that. However, he did stop him. And you'll notice in this video between the two cars that were wrecked, where everybody goes and how everybody's working on getting the cop out and that kind of thing. And they're just really not working on the other guy at all, because he was clearly deceased on the scene. It's very, very unfortunate. Good evening, Angel. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night. But this, I'm going to show that at the end. This Louisiana State Police, the troopers. Let me see if I can get there. Yeah, here we go. I hate it when cops lie. I mean, here we are in America trying to build the trust back between the public and the police, and you cannot do that with lying cops. You can't build trust with untrustworthy people. And so when you have an incident, a critical incident, and you, number one, you lie and say, well, there ain't no body cam. When there's plenty of body cam, everybody out there had a body cam. They lied and said there was no body cam. You can see one of the officers realizing when his body cam's on, he cuts the audio portion of it off. One of the main officers, I believe that was DeMoss that did that, turned his audio off and forgets to turn it back on. He turned it off to say something to one of the cops, and he forgets to turn it back on. So the whole time you're seeing video with no audio on his. Now we have audio on the other guys. And then you've got another guy, Trooper Hollingsworth, who gets in his car after this is all over and says some pretty incriminating things to his buddy after the incident on the way to the hospital. Now, Ronald Green was the name of the victim. I don't call him a suspect, even though he was running from the police. He's the victim here. He wasn't arrested. He was killed. And to watch these cops after this police pursuit, if you have video of police officers that do this, they should be fired immediately. Zero tolerance on it. For me, that's my opinion. If I'm the chief of police, or I'm the mayor, or I'm the governing authority of that police department, these were state officers, so I'd have to be the governor. If I was the governor, they'd be stinking fired immediately. Let's watch this video. Oh, yeah, it's graphic.
I'm scared. I'm just scared. Get out of the car. Get out. Oh, driving me, Chris. I'm scared. Let me see your hands. Put your hands behind your back, bitch. Give me your fucking hands.
Put your hands behind your back, bitch. Okay. Just the way these guys talk, you can tell they're bullies. Every one of them. They're MF or this and bitch that, and just no regard for human life, no regard for common courtesies. I mean, this guy, I have had people run from me before that really didn't have a good reason to have run. They ran because they were scared. Some run because they've got outstanding warrants. They don't want to go to jail. Some run because they're drunk and they don't want to be pulled over and get a DUI. And every now and then you get somebody that runs. It's just like, I don't know why I ran. I had a guy on a motorcycle. He ran because he could. And we ended up catching him after he crashed. But certainly this man was apologizing 6 ways to Sunday. He was very remorseful when these cops pulled him over, and they could give a zip about it, and they just go on beating him. And if they would have just said, look, dude, no big deal, you ran from us, you put a lot of people in danger, we're going to charge you with reckless endangerment, we're going to charge you with, this felony or that felony, and just treat the man like a human.
Taser. Put your hands behind your back.
Okay. We break down these videos, so I stop them every now and then. I'll go back and I'll play the whole thing through. I know sometimes it's burdensome when somebody's playing a video and they keep stopping and starting it. But the reason I stop it is to teach things and to tell you things that I spot, having been a police officer and having been a defense attorney and been on every side of this justice system for the last 30-something, 4 or 5 years. You hear him say taser, taser, taser. In the academy, when they instruct officers on when and how to use the taser, they're to give a verbal warning about the taser. They're to tell you, hey, I'm going to tase you. And sometimes the verbal warning is enough. And you say, look, dude, I'm going to tase you if you don't comply. They go, whoa, no, man. No need for all of that. I'll comply. And so you give them warning, you give them another warning, and then right before you pull the trigger, you say, taser, taser, taser. You heard that in the Dante Wright thing. Unfortunately, she had her gun out and wasn't the taser, and she ended up shooting him. But that's why they teach you to say that. In this piece of footage, he says it just to be in compliance with the policy. He's not trying to warn the guy. The guy could have said, no, don't tase me. He would have tased him anyway. He's not saying it in an effort to warn the guy. He's saying it to be in compliance with policy because he knows he's being videoed. And he has to say that before he pulls the trigger. So it's not like he was not going to tase him if the guy complied. He wasn't anticipating the guy to comply. Really, the guy's on the ground. He's not actively resisting. He's at this point fighting for his breath. And I don't consider him to be actively resisting if he's not kicking and punching and carrying on. They did have him on the ground and had him in a chokehold. And when you put somebody in positions like that and you get on their back and they're trying to breathe, yeah, it's going to feel like they're struggling with you. Wait till you hear what this officer says about this incident in just a few minutes.
You're about to get it again if you don't put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. I am sorry.
Now, right there, if he says, all right, man, I'm sorry, get off of him and let him comply. Okay, I'm going to get off of you now. I want you, you're forgiven, whatever. He's trying to talk to you. He's trying to tell you he's sorry. It falls on deaf ears here.
Blood all over. I hope this guy ain't got fucking AIDS.
I'm going to back that up.
Taser.
I'll back it up a little bit and let you watch this whole thing again uninterrupted.
Get off. I'm Chris. I'm scared. Let me see your hands. Put your hands behind your back. Give me your fucking hands. Put your hands behind your back. Taser. Put your hands behind your back. Behind your back. You're about to get it again if you don't put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. I am sorry. Blood all over. I hope this guy ain't got fucking AIDS.
Under no circumstances should Mr. Green have been drugged by his ankle shackles. That was malicious, sadistic, completely unnecessary. And the officer that did it's going to have to be held accountable.
Now, this is crucial evidence right here. Watch this.
Seeing Captain my text, I called him.
Okay. Said everybody's okay, but this is suspect. Not good. Oh, really? Yeah. Like, what you mean not good? Like.
Okay, I'm going to back that up again. It's hard to catch. If I've watched it several times. These two guys are talking back and forth. You kind of can't tell which one's talking unless you've listened to it several times like I have. This is the lieutenant coming up, and the lieutenant is getting briefed by one of the officers on the scene who had been involved in the struggle. And this is Officer Hollingsworth, I believe, telling him that this situation is bad. And it's bad because while they're fighting him and basically choking him, after they get him cuffed, they leave him on his belly, which everybody knows now, having watched the George Floyd trial, that's not good. You don't leave somebody who's having a hard time breathing on their belly. And he tells him, don't you roll over, you stay on your belly. Don't you roll over. And threatens him with violence if he rolls over to catch his breath. And so they just treat this man like he's an absolute animal, and it's terrible. And so he comes up to Hollingsworth comes up to the lieutenant to tell him, hey, dude, this might not be good. I'm going to back it up.
Said everybody, did you send Captain my text? I called him. Okay. Said everybody's okay, but this is suspect. Not good. Oh, really? Yeah. Like, what you mean not good? Like maybe 10-7. Like right now? He wasn't breathing when they put him in the ambulance. You're kidding me. That's what you said. I don't think he's even breathing.
So he said, it's not good. And the lieutenant's like, what do you mean not good? And he said, like 10-7. 10-7, for those of you that don't know code, means out of service. 10-7 literally means out of service. It's what you do at the end of the shift. You check 10-7, means I'm out of service. They also use it to basically say somebody's dead. And when you go to a police funeral, for example, at the end they have that radio call where they call the radio number out of the officer several times, and he doesn't answer because he's dead. And then the dispatcher says at the end, such and such code number is 10-7 for the remainder. And he knows this guy's dead. And the ambulance worker, when I was watching the whole video, there's several minutes there where they know he's not breathing, and they don't start CPR at all. And it's clear to me he's not breathing. They've got him sit up. And so they've got him in a seated position. They've got their hand on his back, or one of them might be standing there with his knee propping him up. But his head is still slumped over, like that. And he's not breathing. And he's still got cuffs on him. When they load him on the gurney, they take his handcuffs. They don't take them off. They take a separate handcuff and they handcuff it to the gurney and handcuff that to his handcuffs. And he's not breathing. And you put him in the ambulance like that, handcuffed behind, both hands behind him, and both hands handcuffed to the rail of the gurney. And he hasn't been responsive for over 5 minutes at this point. What's wrong with you people? What's wrong? What's wrong with you realizing there's more important things than handcuffing this man and taking him to jail if he's not breathing? Take the freaking handcuffs off, lay him flat on his back, and somebody start CPR, for crying out loud. That never happens. So these cops know this is bad. This is real bad. He even tells the lieutenant, this is bad. This guy's 10-7. He wasn't breathing when we put him in there. Hollingsworth gets in his car and does this.
So, call the code.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
All right, we may be 10-2, I don't know.
Why is that?
Well, this guy was drunk, and I think he was wet.
Yeah.
and I beat the ever living fuck out of him, choked him and everything else trying to get him under control. And we finally got him in handcuffs when a third man got there. And the son of a bitch was still fighting, and we were still wrestling with him, trying to hold him down because he was spitting blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just went limp.
Damn.
Yeah, I thought he was dead. We set him up real quick. He's on the ambulance en route to Glenwood, and I'm hauling ass trying to catch up to him.
You think y'all got it on body cam?
Oh, crap, he says to himself. He says, y'all got it on body cam? And then you see he's driving. He says, y'all got it on body cam? And he goes, oh, shit. And reaches down and cuts his body cam off. He's like, oh, my God, I had the body cam on. The whole time I'm talking to my buddy saying, I beat the ever living F out of him and choked him. And I don't know what video he was watching. Did y'all see this man fighting with him? Did you see him spitting blood? He wasn't spitting blood. That was a narrative that they made up as to why they kept him on his belly. They wrote in their report that they kept him on his belly because he was spitting blood. Ultimately, the report that made it to the public said this man died in a car crash when he hit a tree. He didn't hit a tree. He hit the front of the police car at the end of a pursuit. They completely fabricated what happened. And this happened in 2019. So over a year later, this video was leaked. And credit to, what was the name of that? It was the LA State Police, I think. All of a sudden, this LA State Police YouTube channel, it's got 1.2 thousand, so it's got about 1,200 subscribers, and it's been inactive for a year. And then a week ago, they start posting these videos of this incident. And remember, in the reports, they said there was no body cam. They told the family there was no body cam. They told the media there was no body cam. The lieutenant put in his report there was no body cam. He bold-faced lied. There was absolutely body cam, and they all buried it. And there are cops out there that criticize me because I say that the blue code of silence is real. And I say that the blue code of silence is a problem. Hey, Shannon. Yeah, it was horrific, but you can go back and watch it. You might not want to go back and watch it, but yeah, it's not as graphic a video as we've had here in the past. And I can cut my extremely graphic scrolling banner off there, my ticker. It's not as graphic, but it's absolutely humiliating for a former police officer to see police officers talk like this. And I know that happens. I mean, it's not like I've not seen that or heard that before. You know, I was a police officer for 10 years and I saw a lot of things that I didn't want to see. But when you find cops that will talk to a human being like this and just dog cuss him because he ran from you and he didn't pull over right away and treat you like you're subhuman because you ran and you know, you made me have an adrenaline rush. And so I've got to take it out on somebody. That's what these cops did. They got a really big adrenaline rush. The guy finally crashed and they caught him and they beat the ever-loving crap out of him. And it didn't appear to me that this apologetic man who was saying, I'm so sorry, I was scared, I was just scared, I'm still scared, and he should be scared. They killed him. Now, I'm told that the man had a ruptured aorta or had a broken sternum, and I don't know how that happened. I don't know how significant the wreck was and if the wreck could have caused some damage that ultimately led to his death. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that these cops thought they killed him. They may have killed him. He definitely died in their custody. And if you're in my custody, you're in my care. So I'm supposed to take care of this man who's in my custody. And these guys absolutely failed at that. Angel says, yes, they murdered him. So they definitely lied, and they definitely covered up the truth and hid body cam. I don't know who leaked it. I don't know that they know who leaked it. But just recently, the cops were fired for this after this came out and were going to be arrested. And Trooper Hollingsworth, Trooper York was the one that drug him when he had the shackles on. So he's going to be held to account for that. And Trooper Hollingsworth, he died in a single car crash just hours after finding out that he was going to be fired and probably arrested. A single car crash. This man's a professional driver. He's a trooper. Sounds a little suspicious to me. Sounds like he might have drove his. There's not many details that I can find anywhere about the single car crash, except for it took his life. I think he got going about 100 miles an hour and crashed into a tree because he knew the jig was up. That's sad and it's unfortunate. I don't wish that on any cop. I don't wish that on any cop. I don't wish death on Derek Chauvin. I think Derek Chauvin needs to go to prison, and he is, obviously. And he might win a new trial, which will maybe delay his going to prison. It won't alleviate it, in my opinion. I don't know of a jury in this country that would acquit him after watching the video. I don't agree with. I agree that he should be convicted and go to prison. I don't agree with how this jury came down on all three of those charges, but that's for another show. So I'm not going to get off on that. Now, let's switch gears here a little bit. I've already shown the bully of the week, which was the bus driver who slapped the little girl on the bus. And so those of you that just joined us, like Shannon, you might want to go back and watch that in the beginning. Now let's look at this pit maneuver. This is there's a long video of this pursuit. And it ends in what I described to you a while ago as a pit maneuver. And a pit maneuver is when a cop taps the back end of the car in front of him and spins him out. And you really are trained not to do that at high speeds. It should not be done. I wouldn't do it over 50 miles an hour, much less 109. And when he taps his car, he's going 109 miles an hour. His speeds go from like 110 plus to maybe 90 something, and then up and down. But at the time that he taps him, he's right at 109 miles an hour. Watch this.
Cool thing, get up there and get your stuff. Okay, we got it.
Well, I don't know why that has gone into this. Oh man, I pulled up the wrong. I had an edited version of this video that took a bunch of that stuff out. And let me see if I can find it real fast. I apologize for that. Let me go to... So that would have to be... Oh, well. What I'll do is I'll fast forward to it. I'm sorry. So this is the long chase that I told you. And they play this pit maneuver. And I had basically edited a version of this pit maneuver. And Shannon says it feels like justice to see cops get trumped up charges. But it really isn't fair for anyone. That's true. It really isn't fair for anyone. No, there's no winners in that video that we just showed. Okay, so watch this again, and I think they will show the slow motion version of it here, and if not, then maybe on tomorrow's show I'll find the video that I actually edited and play it for you. It's not long. It's actually a very short video with all the juicy stuff at the end. Right?
Going ahead and start EMS.
Did you see that car get airborne? Unbelievable. That was unbelievable. I've never seen a crash like that, where the car was launched as high as the phone pole. Let's go back and watch it one more time in fast motion. Boom. Good Lord. And then one more time in slow motion. Watch this truck flip him up there. Bam. Bam. Holy cow. And in just the aftermath, you see these guys run up and begin to treat the police officer. And it's not like they're just going to the police officer to help him because he's a police officer and not help the citizen. They looked in the truck of the citizen, and apparently he was so, it was so obvious he was dead that they didn't even bother treating him. I think it probably, I don't know, maybe decapitated him or something. This is the back seat. What's up, Norman? Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. So then they run. Of course, the cops are going to run check on the cop first. And then this cop over here has got his gun out, and he's coming up to the truck because they still don't know why he was running. And so they want to make sure that he's not still a threat. Of course, I mean, you saw the crash that I saw. It's not likely that he's going to be a threat after a crash like that. And then this guy, eventually he puts his gun back in his holster, and you'll see another guy here to your right that'll go back behind the truck, and he'll watch this. So he went like that, like, don't even bother. Yep. Don't even bother. He is 10-7. Oh, what a tragic accident. And so for those of you that are just streaming, just getting in, go back and watch the beginning. Let me play that again.
Hey, both of you have to wear the mask.
No. Mm-mm. I'm sorry. What would you do, Norm, if that was your daughter? Yeah, that's what you'd say. You ain't seen nothing yet. That poor bus driver would be in the hospital. You don't slap a 10-year-old girl if you're a grown man. Who does that? Anyway. So listen, thanks for watching the show tonight. And remember, thanks for, number one, commenting on this video. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to share this video with a friend and invite them to the fun next week. We are live every weeknight, usually around between 7 and 8. Missy said, I'd be taking him out if that was my kid. Yeah, I know you would. I've seen you mad before, Missy. Thanks, Angel. I appreciate that. So be sure and come in next week. Invite a friend or family member to join the show. And if you're watching on Facebook, go over to YouTube and like and subscribe on YouTube. It helps us out. We're trying to build that YouTube following, obviously, for obvious reasons. And it just helps the algorithms so we don't get canceled. Thanks for watching the show. We'll be back next week. You guys, in the meantime, stand against the darkness, and I'll be right there with you.
My heart, my soul, my fight, my appetite. Won't stop, won't quit. I come back every time. My heart, my soul, my fight, my appetite. Won't stop, won't quit. I come back every time. My heart, my soul, my fight, my appetite. Won't stop, won't quit. I come back every time. You ain't seen nothing yet. Walk down my head. Start that fire, yeah. Burn it down. Oh, yeah. You ain't seen nothing yet. I go harder. Feel me now. You ain't seen nothing yet.